Good morning. We are starting chapter 12. This is going to be an introduction to algebra. This is things that you will be doing next year in pre-algebra and algebra. So our first step with chapter 12 is we're going to be working with polynomials. What that means is different terms. We are going to learn to classify them, and we're going to simplify them today. And then we'll take it a step further with adding and subtracting and doing those type of things. So our first term that we want to know is a monomial. And you probably know this already, but mono, like when we talk about monotheistic, mono means one. So monomial means that you have one term. So this could be something like 2x squared. It could be like 3. It could be 15x, y, z. That is all one term. I know it has multiple variables, but it is all one term because it is all smushed up next to each other, okay? So these are all monomials, one term. A binomial, bi means 2, so this would be 2 terms. You could have 2x squared minus 1. You could have 3 plus z to the 4th. And then you could have something like this, 15x, y, z plus x. So these are not the same term. They can't be combined. They are what we call like terms because this has an x, y, z, that only has an x. So the clue with this when you're looking for binomials or multiple terms, you want to look for a plus sign or a minus sign in between the two terms. That's going to separate our terms. So if I have one of those separating 2 specific terms, that makes it a binomial. Trinomial means 3. So in the same way, I could have 2x squared plus x minus 1. That is separated by plus and minus sign, so I have 1, 2, 3 terms. This is a trinomial. And then we use the word polynomial, poly, anytime you have more than that. So polynomials just mean multiple terms, but we actually have specific ones for monomials, binomials, trinomials. Anything beyond that, beyond 3 terms, we just call a standard polynomial, okay? Let's go ahead and we're gonna look at the next one and we're gonna work with putting them in standard form. So standard form, what in the world? Okay, standard form means descending order. So I'm gonna go ahead and write that. Standard form is just another way of saying descending order, okay? What that means is I'm going to look at the term with the highest exponent. I'm going to look at that exponent, and that is what comes first. So if I have a b squared is going to come first, and then I work down. My constants should be last. So that 4 is going to come at the end. After my b squared, I look at the negative 8b. Now this negative symbol, or that subtraction symbol, sticks with the number that comes after it. So I'd have b squared minus 8b. Now there's no symbol here in front of the 4, so it's a positive 4. I still need to separate it. I want to double check. I have 1, 2, 3 terms here. I should have 1, 2, 3 terms here. And since there's 3 terms, that means if I have to classify it, it is a trinomial. Okay, let's go ahead and try another one. Oops. There we go. I don't know why this keeps on coming up, guys. Okay, so now I have this one. Okay, so now I have this one. I have 11 plus 2n to the 4th minus 7n plus 5n squared. I want to look at the term with the highest exponent. So this is going to be my first term. So I'm going to start with that, 2n to the 4th. And then I go my next highest exponent, which is squared, and it's plus 5n squared. Then I still remember my constant. I want that to be my last term. So that's going to go at the end, so I want to stick with my minus 7n. Don't forget that this minus sign goes with that. And then plus 11. I'm going to double check. Do my exponents go down? I have a 4, a 2. This one is an assumed 1 plus 11 at the end. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 terms. So I would classify this as a polynomial. Okay. Let's go ahead and try this one. Now what we're going to do is we want to simplify and then put it in standard form. Okay. So if I want to simplify and then put it in standard form. Simplify means I want to find any like terms, And I have a 3x squared here, and I have a 4x squared. Those are like terms. So what I do is I keep the x squared, that does not change, and I work with just this 3 and this 4, and I add those. Those numbers in front are called coefficients. We've worked with this a little bit, but those coefficients, I just add those. So 3 plus 4 is 7. I'm going to end up with 7x squared. And then I have this, my minus sign sticks with it. And then I have minus 2x. And then I have a minus 3. Remember, your symbol in front goes with that number. They stick together. So I have a minus 2x minus 3. If I were to classify this, I have 1, 2, 3 terms. That would be a trinomial. Let's try another one like this. Okay, I have a 5p squared minus 3p squared. Those are combined, they are like terms, so we want to combine them. I keep my p squared. My variable does not change, so whether it has an exponent or not, I want to double check that. These two are the same. This p is not, because it does not have an exponent. So I want to do the ones that are exactly the same. So I have 2 of these that are p squared. Now I'm saying 5 minus 3, because I keep those symbols in front together. So 5 minus 3 is 2p squared. Now I've used both of those terms. My next one, if it's in standard form, is going to be a plus 7p and then minus 2. I want to double check, is it in descending order? That's standard form. And then I can count 1, 2, 3 terms. It is a trinomial again. Let's take it one step farther. Let's say we have a distributive property that we've got to work through. And then we simplify it and put it in standard form. So let's start with just using the distributive. So I have this 2 that's going through this whole parenthesis. So 2 times a squared is 2a squared. 2 times 3 is a plus 6, and then I keep that a. 2 times a negative 1 is negative 2. And then this is by itself, so I'm going to bring that down. Now I combine like terms. I have a 2a squared and a 2a squared. That's going to give me 2 plus 2 is 4a squared. The a squared stays the same. And then I have plus 6a minus 2. And once again, I should double check, make sure that it goes in descending order, which it does. And then I have 1, 2, 3 terms. If I were to classify it, it is a trinomial. That is it for today. We're just combining like terms, putting them in standard form, and being able to classify. 1 term is monomial, 2 terms is binomial, 3 terms is trinomial. Anything beyond that is just a standard polynomial. Okay, good luck. Have a great day.